wife the other day. They went to that Area 52. Look at that jet right there. It's like a private charter jet. This is nice right here. Another thing too I found out when I was doing research, Mark David Chapman actually had a revolver that only had 5 chambers in it. It was a charter gun. That car just sitting way out there. But it had 5. That's why there was 5 shots fired, only 4 hitting. So I went back and corrected some of those things. I think I would have probably known that if I would have continued the Let Me Take You Down play, which was chapter 27. But because I was taking my source from Let Me Take You Down, now I have better source material, and it's going to be quicker too, so it won't drag on for so long. There's a sequence of assassination of John Lennon is in it. It does get on into him when he was 15 years old, when Mark was 15 years old. It also gets to him in Hawaii, how he goes to Hawaii to New York, and then it doesn't get into the whole aspect of what Jared Leto did with chapter 27. It doesn't get that detailed. It's not that detailed, but it gets into the assassination, and it does bring in Yoko, so it makes Yoko's character more important. Wanted me to take another coffee break, but it doesn't say anything about pie. We're gonna check the time, so hang on real quick. We're going to the time, and then we're gonna slowly go up right about there, and just kind of hold it right there. 3 little segments. 35W, about 70. We're gonna sneak over here and just kind of peek. I'm only doing about 65 because my grandfather said I'd save gas doing that back in the freaking 80s. You know, he had this. My grandfather had this like Lincoln. It's funny because my grandmother, they both passed away. My Mimar, and my Papa, and my grandfather basically went out kind of like an atheist, and my Mimar, she was pretty much a devout Baptist. She was the cook for the church. So she'd run around all around town dropping off food for everybody, while my grandfather sat at home with coffee and a 38 special in his back pocket, and he'd watch Westerns, and he was blind because he got robbed at gunpoint in his own home. It's a home invasion that happened in Diamond Lock. So he went out with a gun in his back pocket, doing like this at the TV. Call me Chuck, because I like to do karate when I was like 9 or 10, sometimes 11, and sometimes 12. So my grandfather, they would fight sometimes, but my grandmother would always be in a hurry. I gotta go here, but we would skateboard. We were about 12 or 13. We'd ollie over these skateboards, and my grandmother would get in her Lincoln, and she'd look at us and go, "Wee!" She was a real weird lady. We spun around to the Texas Motor Speedway, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts, and we're gonna slightly tilt the camera here, just like this, real quick, and you're gonna see way over here a Buc-ee's and a fair going on. Probably not going to be able to go into the fair. The other one was over there. They moved it over this way. But I can look at it from a distance. I wrote a play called Signing Out. It has a mime and a mailman and a lady in it. There's a lady and another guy. There's like a love affair interest in it between a female manager and a worker. She kind of does the S&M with him while he's trying to work. Kind of like a movie called Secretary a little bit, but it has a mime in it, and it has a mailman in it. It works at a postal office that comes in. It's a real good play called Signing Out. I wrote it when I was in Los Angeles, when I was writing Catching Marlon, the Marlon Brando thing. Or it was also called Oscillate Wildly, a little screenplay that I wrote that no one really wanted. I didn't really shop it around that much. The only person I was going to shop it around was Marlon Brando. That was the only one. I was only going to give it to him. And I couldn't find him. He wasn't really doing that good. They said he was laying under. Diane Salinger from Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure Diane told me that he was laying under the sink he was staring at ants. That's what she said. He laid under the sink and watched ants because he was really into science and botany and ants and biology and how things grew and stuff like that. So he was watching ants, fire ants, and under his sink. So I couldn't find Marlon Brando at the time. But I would have gave him the script because I thought it was a pretty good one. So attempts that I was going to do is Diane said, well, you might find him at this Italian restaurant on Ventura, or it was on the other side of the place where Tom Petty sang about. It was Ventura Boulevard or something like that. And I used to hang out there because I'd go to bookstores, and Diane would have me make copies for her in the acting class. These little copies and stuff. And I was looking for Brando, and I couldn't find him anywhere. And I thought, well, if I find his house, maybe I could hang out in front of his house, see if he comes out or something. But I couldn't even find his house. So, boy, I wish Jordan the Lion was on back then in 2001. Although Jordan was dealing with the Candyland riots. 2001, 2002. Or I guess I was there 2000, 2001. It's closer. I was in New York in 2002. So in 2001. I was there, I think, right December 2000, and it turned into 2001, January, and I was in LA until August, about 9 months, or not even really that. Then I flew off to New York for another 9 months. But if I would at least hand him the script, I think I'd probably be making movies right now. If I just get it in his hands, that's all you have to do really with one of those guys. And that little segment was brought to you by Ram Power Wagon. It's a little tack truck. Looked exactly like the one almost hit me the other day because I was being stupid. That may freeze. Can't see it. There's a plane up there. I'm trying to entertain you as much as possible. You can see the plane. If you look, you can kind of see it. Look at the blue right above there. Should be there. Well, at least you get to see a pretty blue sky. That road, and then they come down the other road down that way, so I go back and forth. Thank you. This is actually a really nice one right here. Little tractor. And we got our Fran and Fan. They're always behind. One car ahead and one car behind. Always. There's Fran right there. I like this way out here. Little structure. Beep, beep. This one's really nice. That's called Lazy Dog Lane. That's what I'm on right now. Lazy Dog Lane, right by Pecan Parkway. This is actually called Pecan Square here. Some of the houses are just amazing. So I'm sitting in rehearsals for View from Bridge, and this guy who's now a professor of theater at TCC turns to me and starts talking to me about how Jared Leto was eating ice cream and soy sauce to gain weight to play Mark David Chapman or something like that. But he didn't say it that way. How he said it was, he goes, yeah, well, you know, Jared Leto ate ice cream and soy sauce for this one movie to gain a bunch of weight, because we're talking about how actors gain weight and lose weight. And I said, he ate what? He ate ice cream and soy sauce. And I was sitting there going, what in the world? You know, like flipping out thinking, why would someone do that? And then somewhere down the line, he mentioned someone about a character that shot John Lennon. And I said, well, what's the name of the movie? He said, Chapter 27. And like chills went all through my body, from my head to my toe. I said, what was it called? And I was looking around for Rob, because Rob knew I was writing Chapter 27. It was an obvious title. And I was like, wait a minute. What did you call it? And he said, Chapter 27. This was another actor that was in A View from a Bridge. And I said, you're kidding me. That's the title? About Mark David Chapman and Catcher in the Rye, Chapter 27. And there was a documentary called, it was about Mark David Chapman, and it was based on Let Me Take You Down, the novel by Jack Jones or whoever, Jack Jones or whatever his name was, wrote a novel about it. And I thought, oh my God, they did it. And I thought, I bet that was in a storage unit, because it was in a process. The play was in process. It's like if they took Tennessee Williams' play before they published Streetcar Named Desire and got it in process and then published it, made it into a movie. Now, they probably I gotta pick up an order. They probably didn't do that, but I hope they didn't.